as we all know, Trisha made an apology to Ethan. And it was like super good. It was super good at just being terrible. It was terrible. It was terrible. Listen, it was, hey, let's wait a month and say whatever I want to say. And then once I realized that I'm socially useless without Ethan in front of me, because it was literally a campaign to make me look better than I deserve to look, I think I'm going to apologize now. But then even in the apology, which we went over, which funny enough is actually, you scroll a little bit down here, Trisha's apology to Ethan, even in the apology, it wasn't even genuine. There are points where like, excuse me, she was like half apologizing for things. And if you read a little deeper into what she was saying, she didn't even believe it. But you're going to have to watch that video yourself in order to get that. So let's see what our friend Ethan has to say about the apology. And we'll find out if it's just a big old, scandal. I wouldn't doubt if it was a scandal. I wouldn't doubt if it was like, oh, we're all bored. I got a little conspiracy. Right, my conspiracy here is this. My conspiracy theory, rather, is that they were both like, hey, I think we've run the show out as much as possible. Let's just have a big blowout. We'll all make a bunch of money, yada, yada, yada. Who knows? Possible. And then they get back together. But I don't think they're getting back together. Because if they did, I mean, then I would probably lose all respect for Ethan. Because, like, at this point, you need to set some boundaries. I mean, this woman is a terrible person. She's, talked so much, so many terrible things about your own wife and your ability to be a parent. I don't know. Anyway, let's get into this.
Okay, welcome back. So, Trisha put out an apology to me. She put out a video called Apology to Ethan. And I do want to comment on this, I guess. I should comment on it. Look, first of all, let me say I appreciate the apology. Why? I appreciate that she's making an effort to make peace with us, which I think is important. It's nice.
That's a little, in my opinion, it's a little. That's a little too little too forgiving, because I don't think that's what it is. I don't think that's what it was after watching that. Maybe I'm just too hard on Trisha, but she deserves it. She doesn't really deserve a benefit of the doubt or a second chance kind of a mentality. I mean, how many of those has she gotten?
That she apologized for sharing our text messages.
After a month.
She made a general apology.
After a month. That was 40 minutes.
She apologized to the crew.
For no reason. After a month.
Look, she said in her video, I'm going to make this apology and Ethan doesn't have to accept it. It's not that I don't accept her apology. It's that I don't want to like gloss over. I don't want to gloss over too much what went down. I mean, it's a lot for me to forgive this fast, because this is a person who I considered, family, a close friend, someone I trusted, someone that we were working together with, that I had a very close relationship, someone who I was confiding in. And, as much as I understand that she has like conditions that make, processing emotions hard for her.
Really quick before that, there's two things here when it comes to that point. First and foremost, we need to understand that it's not anybody else's responsibility to take care of somebody with some kind of like a mental issue. It's not your responsibility, unless like they're your mom or something. Then of course it is. When it comes to a friendship or any type of like a friendship or maybe like a romantic relationship, you don't have to stay with somebody if they have some kind of mental issue, especially if they're not working on it. And I know Trisha talks about working on it, but I don't genuinely think so, because her outbursts and her ignorance, it happens far too often. And that's the first biggest thing. The second thing is that you have to understand is that the most person-centric thing that you can think is that people with disabilities can still be assholes. And I'm not kidding. People with disabilities are people first, disability second. Oftentimes, people will look at somebody with a disability and they'll see their disability first and that person second. And I believe that's ableist. But if you look at somebody and you see person first, disability second, then all of a sudden you can understand, like, yeah, the person can be an asshole. Now, maybe part of the reason they're an asshole is because of their mental issue, but that doesn't mean you have to put up with it. And so, like, Trisha's an asshole. Her mental issue comes second. You know, I know a lot of people with mental issues. They're not assholes. All of a sudden, one person has a mental issue. It's like, well, they're an asshole. Well, it's because of this. Well, it's not good enough. At the very least, you can disconnect yourself from them, and you shouldn't feel guilty about it.
This is somebody who I perceived as... Dude, she honestly, without mincing words, was trying to, like, ruin my life.
Wow.
She was saying everything she could to attack me personally, to attack the business. I mean, she was like liking tweets that were saying I was a racist. And, you know, these things really... And she's like, and like the whole Disneyland thing and digging up all this and like and her sister, which...
That was a lot. You know, I half expected like kind of a dishonest response from Ethan. Not like because he's the dishonest person necessarily, but because like he doesn't want to make more drama out of it, and like, you know, Trisha and Moses and Hila and all that. But that was really intense. That was honestly really intense, man. Like, yeah, that honestly that sounds honest to me. That's a heavy accusation. I think it's true.
I know it was her sister. She put out that video, but like that, her sister doesn't just put out that video in a vacuum. That's the result of them all talking about stuff. And like, I feel like maybe I'm reading too into it, but I feel like that video her sister put out is the product of like them all circle jerking about what a piece of shit I am. Right?
Probably. Yeah. That's how it works. That's
she
life.
Said that I'm a liar. She said that I lied about her wanting to fire the crew. She said I lied about her saying that I mean, look, dude, Trisha does this thing where she goes, Trisha never explicitly said, I want to fire the crew, right? What she did say is that...
This guy just eat like a pizza, have a lot of gas, or is this a new tick? That's comfortable. I have tics as well. I keep hearing like almost a clearing of the voice, like a bumping of the voice, and it's a little distracting.
I only hire fans. They're not professionals. She's not comfortable being with them. And if we're going to continue frenemies, we need a whole new staff. We need a whole new crew. So did she say?
That's how it is when he gets nervous. Okay, that's fair.
I want you to fire the crew. No, but like you said everything. You did say that without explicitly saying I want to.
So basically, she primed the situation. She primed them saying these are all the reasons why. What's the most logical outcome of terrible staff? They're just your friends. They're useless. Blah 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 blah.
Fire the crew. You know, did she say I sexually harassed her? No, she didn't say that. But she said I was making everything sexual. I was making her beauty products sexual. She was saying that I intentionally brought up this candle thing with her family on the way to Disneyland just to get a rise of them, which to me is just so offensive, bro.
You know, this is very interesting because we never got this type of insight from Ethan before about how she never explicitly said that she was sexually harassed or he was sexually harassing her, or never explicitly said I want to fire you, or that I want you to fire the crew. What she does is she creates these scenarios where she is saying things without saying them. And what is very interesting to me is it's something I didn't pick up on, but it makes her incredibly methodical and predatory in her language. Before this, I just assumed Trisha was was just a fucking idiot and an asshole. But it actually seems like Trisha is like intentionally knows what to pick. She's somehow clever when it comes to manipulating people emotionally. She's incredibly evil when it comes to emotional manipulation tactics, especially with people like Ethan, which whether you like Ethan or not, you know, he's like a teddy bear, and he let her in his mind And she just picks and prods and dissects and just shits on somebody and just really takes advantage of somebody mentally. And she's an incredibly emotionally manipulative person. I think she's a really bad person. I think that this somehow it's one of those things where it's like we didn't think that we could think Trisha was a worse person, but then after this we realized like she is really worse than we thought. And I've been saying that almost like every episode. Oh, she's worse than we thought. We didn't think that it could get any worse. But she's a manipulative bitch. Trisha is a manipulative person. A really shitty, manipulative fucking person.
It's a horrible thing to say. Like,
And Mama Guts in the chat, she said, that's why I say I really fluctuate between she's either the most stupid person on the planet or she knows everything she's doing. It does become very difficult to figure it out because I think that she's incredibly stupid. But when it comes to playing with somebody's emotions, she's just like a fucking surgeon, it seems like. Especially to people who will let her in. That's what I think it is. If most of us wouldn't let Trisha in because we know she's a scumfuck loser. But Ethan seems like a nice guy. Nicer than me, certainly. Regardless of what you think about the guy, definitely nicer than me, at least on a personal level, right? Definitely on a personal level, because I wouldn't let her in. And then she gets the opening, and then it's like a festering wound. She gets like a wound in there, and it just starts to get infected.
Oh,
and every time she does something wrong, it's my mental disorder. And I know from firsthand experience how mentally draining it can be to interact and engage with somebody who will fuck up constantly, and then they'll pivot to like, oh well, it's not my fault. I have this, or this, and then you feel like a bad person for setting very strict, not even strict, it's very low boundaries. Like you're just like, hey, can you just respect me as a person? That's it. And then they can't even do that, and they'll fuck that up. And then they'll be like, oh, sorry, it's because I have this particular mental disorder. Or I have this particular problem. Well, I have this. Oh, I'm this. And it's like, well, what the fuck? What about me? And then they put you in this point of like hysteria where you get to a point where you blow up. Because you don't know what else to do. And then you have this situation.
I feel like she really tried her app. She
Even after her apology for leaking text, she posted more private texts yesterday to try and prove that she had apologized to him via text one day prior to, of course. So you see how she can't even keep her shit straight. This is Trisha.
She tried to ruin my life, my reputation, my business.
Sure.
And not only that, there's been a lot of
I thought I did.
Heavy emotions within the family. Because obviously she's engaged to my brother-in-law, Hila's brother.
And I'm sorry for pausing this so much. I truly am. But this is another thing, is that like you see how he's expressing, he's like, I really hate that this situation's happening because my brother-in-law is getting married to her. And it creates these situations that make me uncomfortable with talking about it. But you realize that like to Ethan, as a normal person, he's like, yeah, it's uncomfortable to cross these boundaries because, like, you do need to understand that when it comes to family, like, there are things that you need to, like, really understand. Like, if you have a particular, let's say you have a sister or something, and they're marrying somebody and you think that person's a loser, you have to not think that person's a loser, and you need to learn to keep your shit together. It's hard to explain that unless you are somebody that's been in that situation. But Trisha doesn't have that. She doesn't have that mentality of, okay, I'm dating Moses, and, like, Ethan is Moses' sister's husband, so I need to be better. She doesn't have that. She doesn't have that, like, you know, she doesn't have that respect.
This is far-reaching implications with Hila's whole family. And it's been very difficult. It's been very stressful. And it's nice that she's apologizing now after trying to ruin my whole life. And, you know, if this is an apology to me, right? It says apology to Ethan. This is my apology. Oh, I watched the whole 40-minute video, and I watched all 10 mid-rolls. It's like, do I have to watch 10 mid-rolls to get my apology? Why do I have to watch 10 mid-rolls to get my apology?
That's crazy. I didn't see. I pay for YouTube Premium, $12 or whatever a month, because like I don't like ad blocking, and when I watch videos, I feel like it's just the right thing for the content creator to get paid for it. But like, could you imagine making an apology? And I said this in my video on the apology. I was like, you know, it's a 40-minute fucking video for like, I'm really sorry, I really fucked up. Like, it doesn't need to be. It could have been 5 minutes for Ethan, but she just kept rambling. And at one point, she plugged her OnlyFans in the fucking apology. And I didn't know this, but 10 mid-roll ads. So I'm assuming there's an ad at the beginning, right? And then there's an ad at the end. So you have a 40-minute video with 12 fucking advertisements on it. A 40-minute video with 12 fucking advertisements on it. You have a video, you have an ad every 3 to 4 minutes. And it's like, that means that she made the apology because she knew it would get views, which it did. It gets more, her apology, her videos when it comes to Ethan get more views than anything else. And that she just wanted money. And it exposes like an even deeper thing. Because look, all the other videos she has like 40K, 70K, 100, which is great. Like, I'm not saying that like whatever. I don't get that many views. But like, you notice that like, oh, look, 820,000 views talking about an apology to Ethan. Well, you know, it's with 12 ads in it. Well, that's fantastic. I wonder why she did that. And then, of course, you look at the like to dislike ratio. It's getting better than it used to be, which means people fell for it. They fell for this purely performative bullshit. In a 40-minute video, I get it. This is YouTube. You want to monetize your shit. So I'm not going to give her shit for putting any ads in there. You know what I mean? 40-minute video, I feel like maybe one at 40 minutes, the beginning, and then one every 10 to 15 minutes. But instead, it's like every 3 to 4 minutes. And then you know what that means, you know? And you might even disagree with me saying put ads in your videos on an apology. You have every right to. I'm saying I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mid-rolls. If this is an apology...
11 mid-rolls, so 13 ads.
Apology to me, why do I have to watch it on her YouTube channel with 10 mid-rolls?
I said that too. If this was truly an apology to Ethan, she should have done it in private, which by this video, he's just saying, like, yeah, she never even apologized in private.
A phone call would have been nice. She has my number. She knows that I'm open to talk anytime. She messed, you know what I mean? And she apologized to the crew. She said previously she doesn't have any of the crew's contact information. I'm sorry, but that's not true.
Yeah, it's just a dumb
We're
thing to
all in a
suggest.
group chat on WhatsApp. She has everybody's
Yeah, she even said that was the case a few videos back.
number. She could have called them to apologize. They don't need to watch 11 mid-rolls to get their apology either. So, do I appreciate her apology? Yes.
Why? I
nice
wouldn't. It's
and
not
helpful.
nice. It's you just showed us that it wasn't nice. You just showed us that it was performative bullshit. You're gonna say it was nice? You're just too nice of a person.
Full, just to clear the air. But
Is
it the most personal and meaningful apology that I have to watch it on our YouTube channel with 11 mid-rolls? No. No, it's not. You know, frankly. I don't know. It's like, you know, and she says stuff like, you know, I'm over wanting an apology. I have to move on. I honestly don't know. This is someone who I've tried my best in every conceivable way to be loving and supportive and gracious. And then like the minute things went wrong this third time, I don't know. I really feel like she tried to ruin my life. And the good thing for me is because, you know, another thing she says is, well, why did you post that final episode if it made me look so bad? First of all, you guys got to understand. Trisha put out her video.
I mean, the answer is because just because you act like, why shouldn't he post the episode? It's your fucking job, and you acted like a bitch. And like her argument there is, well, why did you show people me looking bad? Well, maybe it's because you're an asshole. Like, what? Why not? And what's crazy again is it's Trisha fucking Paytas. Paid it? Am I saying? I don't know. I don't care. It's Trisha fucking Paytas. All she had to do is the next like in a tweet be like, yeah, me and Ethan, we talked it out, and like I was overreacting. That's it. Literally all it would have been. Ethan would have went on his podcast like, bad guy says, don't give Trisha so much shit. We had like a misunderstanding. She like got a little intense, and like, you know, we talked about it after. Because if you're somebody who has like a particular mental issue, right? Like you might blow up in the moment, and that's totally fine, right? Like I get it. But afterwards, when you've toned it down, you go like, okay, I overreacted. Okay, I gotta chill a little bit. Take a deep breath. You take a day or two. But she didn't do that. This is a fucking month, bro. It's a fucking month, and she's now apologizing. She believed she was right, and she still does to this day. But everybody in the fucking world disagrees with her. So now she wants to get her image back so she can continue to make money. And now her argument's like, why did you post the video? Why did you act like a fucking bitch?
Video before the final episode was even posted publicly. And, you know, she's the one who told me to post it. We were talking about it privately, and she was so convinced she was right. She's like, put it up unedited and let's see who's right. And I was like, okay, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm the asshole. And so she told me to put it up. She put out her video saying things were this way. And so, of course, I'm got to put up the video so people can have the objective situation and put their own judgment from. And listen, the only thing that saved me from Trisha trying to do everything to ruin my life is the fact that all of our fights and confrontation were put up unedited on Frenemies. Because if I was like, you know what, I'm going to not air this to protect Trisha, unfortunately, that gives Trisha all the space she needs to say, well, this is what happened. This is whatever happened. And then it's my word against her. I don't want to be in that situation where it's my word versus her. The whole Frenemies experiment was like, whatever happens, and this is the whole wild ride. So, like, I understand people being like, oh, you shouldn't have posted it. But if I don't post it and you guys can't see what actually happened, then
I feel like he's trying to
say whatever the fuck.
He's trying too hard to like tell people that like he was justified in posting it. It was their job. And that's the part of the job. Oh, it looked bad. Well, don't look bad. Stop being an asshole.
She want, and she tried. She tried to say whatever she wanted about me.
Sure.
So, you know, I'm glad she's apologized. You know, again, I appreciate that. But
more and more people are buying it. Somebody said not many people bought it. More and more people are buying it. You see like the like-to-dislike ratio on her videos.
Before I can really...
It used to be like 5% like ratio. Now it's like 40%. It's working, and that's the fucking most frustrating part. Is that people watch this 40-minute thing, and like you know what happened? People turned it on and they saw it was 40 minutes, and they didn't think like, oh, performative bitch. They looked at it and they said like, oh, this is long. I'm going to watch about 4 or 5 minutes and I'll be like, all right, I got the gist of it. Sounds like she's apologetic, and they're going to move on. They don't actually sit there and they don't try to like deconstruct what she's actually saying. This is what a lot of big creators do. They'll do something really terrible, and then they'll make a really, really long apology, and they'll put like, they'll just pad up the beginning so that it sounds like they're sorry, but they won't really take accountability for what they actually did.
You know,
it was hard to watch too. It was horrible
from this, or to come to some understanding from it, because I don't know. I just think like it scares me. It scares me because this is someone who I confide in, who I consider friend and family.
Hey, that's your fucking fault. I don't know why you would ever do that.
You know, willing at the time of crisis to go out publicly and say,
I think we all know that Trisha was never the person that you should confide in at all. Like, we all have to realize that. We know that.
Anything about me. And I frankly can't risk, as much as I love and respect Trisha and she's so talented, entertaining, and all the great things about her.
What the fuck? I just don't understand. Like, what does Ethan see in this woman? Why would you respect her? What talent does she have? I really just don't understand it. I just don't get it. I feel like he's lying, but like I don't want to say that he's lying. What's to respect about her?
I can't risk.
What is her talent? Like she gets fucked on OnlyFans? Like what is it? She brought him money.
Having someone close to me in my life who was willing to just step out into the public eye and say anything about me when things go a little south. That's just not something that's just not something that I can accept, frankly. And, you know, we had fought before, but this obviously went to a new degree where she's posting our text messages. She's saying I'm a liar, I'm a manipulator. And, you know, one thing that really upset me was like her going and amplifying people making these whole things about like, oh, Ethan's racist or whatever stupid things I've done in the past. She's out there liking those tweets, and it's like,
yeah, he did say the N-word and the F-slur pretty openly. It was pretty intense. I don't know if that makes him racist. I don't think it makes him racist. Definitely a different time back then, but it is still a little weird.
Okay, so So this is nothing to do with our fight. This is just you trying to hurt me as much as possible. I understand this. And I understand that she was hurt and she was confused and, you know, she felt trapped. But I just can't bring that. I can't invite that back into my life.
What do you mean? I really don't think that she felt that way. I think that she felt offended, and she didn't care if it was right or wrong. She just doesn't want to feel offended. And then she decided that like she was right, even when like she wasn't from an objective perspective. And she just kept rolling with it. And like she tried to hurt him, like socially and mentally and emotionally.
For myself, for my business, for my family. I don't know. It was that whole thing. I cannot emphasize just how much it hurt me on a personal level. And I'm still recovering from it. So while I appreciate the apology, it would have been nice to get an apology where I didn't have to watch 10 mid-rolls to get it.
That's true.
I don't know if that's too much to ask. And listen, she can get out there and get paid and do her thing and make that paper. You know, I'm all about that thing. I always support Trisha doing her thing and getting paid. But like, is this an apology to? Who is this an apology to? Is it to me? It says apology to Ethan. I think it's to me. Why didn't she call me and give me an apology?
Sure.
Or send me a thoughtful email or you know what I mean? Because like, it's a lot of, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, listen, I'm glad she made the apology though, in short. And, you know, that's pretty much all I have to say about it I don't want to, you know, that's just my honest thoughts. I'm sure you guys wanted to hear it. It's very public, all this now. So, you know, I'm sure there'll be a time and place where we can reconcile, but I'm not ready for that yet. And that's about it. I mean, that's I don't know what more I have to say about it. Please buy Friend Enemies merch coming out soon. I'm royally fucked.
I'm not gonna buy it. I'm just
Friend Enemies merch is coming out in like a week or two. I really need you guys to buy that shit.
Nah, you don't. You don't really need us to. You can very easily manage it.
Oh, there was one funny thing I actually wanted to share. She managed to sneak in an attack on Gabby Hanna during my apology. Here, you guys can enjoy this. I thought it was funny.
Cycle through.
It's so funny because that's one of the things I said is that she's like, oh, she's trying to use it's like, look, Gabby's bad. She's worse than me, so I must be better. And like, I don't know if Gabby's worse or not because I don't follow drama that much because a lot of it's bullshit. I don't fucking care. But like, that's all she's doing. She's just saying this is worse, so I'm okay by comparison. That's like saying like, hey, listen, I should be able to piss in your mouth because it's better than having shit in your mouth, right? That's what she's trying to say.
People quickly, and he's obviously.
But I want you to be honest. I don't want to either piss. I don't want to piss or shit in my mouth.
Same creature, so this has nothing to do with him. I don't want people to think that's where I'm going with this. But people, you know, underpaid dancers. There's YouTubers, you know. I know a guy YouTuber that does music videos and doesn't pay his dancers at all. And, you know, there's just people who don't respect the work that people put in, or people like Gabby yelling at the Escape the Night crew because they changed the schedule or didn't have food for her when she didn't even put in the request. You know, it's like...
Trisha, are you apologizing to me? Why are we talking about Gabby Hanna not putting in food requests? Listen, Ethan, I'm so sorry. This apology is brought to you by Walmart. Shop for less. Anyway, Ethan, I was just saying that I know I really fucked up, and I just want.
I like that he didn't mention that she threw her OnlyFans plug in there.
I apologize for sending your text message. This apology is brought to you by King Kong.
She can't even do a fake apology, right? Yeah.
Streaming now.
Is it? I didn't know King Kong was streaming. Maybe I'll go watch it.
Anyway, like I was saying, like, can you imagine if I got a call and then she had like 10 sponsors during our call? Hold on one sec. Listen, I
feel like
horrible
I feel like
about
we've hit
how
the end of this
everything went
video,
down
but
and,
like I feel like I have to keep
Costco,
watching until
World
he
Market.
stops talking about, because I don't know, maybe something will
On
happen.
sale, 15%.
But now it's
off.
just like beating the shit out of a dead fucking horse. This joke's
July 4th sale.
like, we get it, you know.
Anyway, I was saying, I'm just really sorry. She's hustling though, you know what I mean? You gotta, you know, everyone gotta get that on that paper chase. You know, that 5% ain't gonna fucking fill itself up.
He takes that 5%.
Those coffers ain't gonna fill themselves up. And listen, you can't get mad. That 5% meme is way too fire to drop. There's no way
5%
I'm
means
fucking.
everything.
What?
5% means everything.
Yeah, this is Joe Rogan's been saying that for forever. 5% means everything.
That's
You know?
funny. All right.
So
we
get
good?
that paper, I guess. But it doesn't feel that genuine to me. Is all I'm saying. Okay? Peace and love.
Very cool. I think that's it.
Oh, I also want to say we put out a families today, Wednesday. We talked about I asked my mom to summarize the Trisha Paytas versus Gabby Hanna beef. It's the spiciest beef on the internet currently. And so, you know, there were some insensitive remarks made about Trisha. I just want to say,
Double down on them.
that was filmed before we saw this apology. That I knew it was posted on that day. I didn't know it was even posted on that day until later in that day after we had posted the family. So
All right, I don't care anymore. Enough of that. I can't sit through it. All right, yeah, Trisha's an asshole. You shouldn't backtrack anything. Fuck her. Who gives a shit about her? She's a rude fucking asshole, so I don't give a shit. Hey everyone, if you liked that video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow my Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, Discord, and TikTok. All links are in the description. Also, check out my Patreon if you'd like to support me even more than you already do. Thank you so much, everyone. I love you all.